Alrighty, so this week's episode we are going to repair a $200 pump with a simple $5 fix. Stay tuned. Okay, so we've been having a little bit of issues, water pump
Major
issues. There's no running water on the boat.
Water.
So we just filled up all that water from the rain catchment system into the tanks. Can't use it. So basically, it's quite a common problem on boats is the freshwater pumps, they go bad. A lot of the time, if you can see on this one, it's the pressure switch. You see all the corrosion on here? These little switches, for some reason, they're just not waterproof enough. They get corrosion in them and they fail. Also, sometimes it's internal on the motor. So these two that I've got here on the table, these are two older ones, and I've just got some pressure switches in, just ordered through Amazon. And I'm going to test these, see if I can get these two to work. Now, there is one installed in the boat that I did have out last week. And I managed to get it running again. It just seemed to be a little bit of a blockage inside. When I gave it a little bit of a tap, it sort of spluttered and started working. And it's been good for about a week. And last night it died on us. So I'm going to try and service these two before I take the other one out. See if I can get a good working one out of these two. If I can, fantastic. I'll do a straight swap out and then I'll service the other one. So let's have a play with these. I think what I'll do is I'll chuck this on a time lapse. And I'll just go through some of the testing. So, alright, let's crack on and see what we can get out of these. So as you've seen, I've just disassembled this. This is basically the pump end and the pressure switch end. Disassembled this to have a look, see where I can find any problems. So first of all, I found out that the pressure switch in this one, to be honest, I already knew this was a good one because I tried this about 2 weeks ago when I was playing around. I didn't realise which pump it was. But opening it up, I found out that this has actually got my last of the old pressure switches. That was a good one. That is correct. So it's actually the motor body itself which isn't actually spinning. So I'm going to try opening up this. But everything else seems good. The pressure switch is good. All of the membranes, if you will, all of the O-rings are all good on the pump side of things. But it's the motor side of things on this one. So I think what I might actually do is open up the other one the same and find out where the problem is in this one. So maybe we can take the motor from this to the pump of this and build one good working unit, and then we can go into the depths of the motor maybe later on and see what's going on in there. But let's see if we can get one running sooner rather than later so that Erica can have a shower. Also, while we've got this on the test bench, what I've actually done, you can see I've got the nav station open. When I did the tidy up work in there a few days ago, I decided to put myself a designated 12 volt high ampage outlet so that I can actually have test power on the bench on the table here. So now it's super easy. Instead of me mucking around trying to get a connection, trying to get some power, I simply plug in this cable that I've got here. I can have this in the, it's long enough, I can have it in the cockpit, or I can have it on the kitchen table here. And yeah, it just makes life so much easier when working, when you've got things set up ready to go. So I've opened up the other one. Didn't bore you with the same, it was the same process as the first one. So I've just opened this up, tested it. Pressure switch was in very bad condition. See the corrosion here. So I fitted a working one, made no difference, still didn't run. Everything definitely feels a bit more grimy and a bit stiffer on this one, but there doesn't seem to be any damage on the pump side of things. Pressure switch definitely wasn't working. So I reckon I've got two dodgy motors here. I've never taken apart one of these motors, but it must just be simply a brushed motor basically. So I'm going to try and open these up. So bear with me, let's have a little look and see what we find inside this. Alright, so we've got this open. Couple of things I'm noticing here. One, corrosion inside. Two, dripping wet, so it's full of water. And also this is the spinning part of the motor. Obviously the brushes go on here. This spins on the magnets inside, obviously making a rotation which turns the pump. That ain't moving nowhere. That's frozen solid. So the bearing or something down there is gone. Everything's rusty. To be honest, I want to make it work. I'm not going to give up yet. I'm going to see if I can free up this with a bit of PB Blaster, get it all cleaned up. If I can get that freed up, then obviously it's going to spin and then it will function. So, one, dry it, clean it, unseize it. I like a challenge. I like it when people say something can't be done. You just wait now, it won't work, will it? Anyway, let's give it a try. But I thought I'd come off a time lapse just for that bit there. And, alright. let's get on with it. Alright, as you've just seen in the time lapse, I was doing the cleanup on the interior of this pump itself here. I have managed to free up the bearing here with some PB blaster and a little bit backwards forwards. It actually spins quite freely now. The bearing sounds okay. I've done the same in the other one. The other one's not quite as good condition. It did free up and it does work, so as a temporary measure I could probably repair it just to get us by until we got a spare. But one issue I have run into here is on the inside of these housings are magnets. Now obviously these go on basically onto the motor. When you've got power in the coil, they're opposites and they push, and that's what makes your motor actually spin. Okay, but the magnets themselves are supposed to be fixed on the inside here. Now they do hold in place just with magnetism, but they are supposed to be glued in. So now of course I can't get it out. So what I need to do is re-glue these down so that these can't spin. These need to be fixed so that when you've got an electrical charge in the coiled part, then obviously with the magnet in there, it will make the rotation, which makes the pump work itself. So I need to glue these back together. So it's not going to be a project for today. I'm going to need to find some glue. What type of glue would you use, guys? Obviously I know I need to do the cleanup in here. What type of glue would you use to glue a magnet to a steel housing? Leave it in the comments. Alright guys, so I've opened up the pressure switch on this one, and the switch is on, so this should activate on and off with this switch here. So the motor is good on this one, unlike the other two that I just shown you. But let's swap out that one for a brand spankers.
So these are the same exact little switchies that we found.
Okay, so that's working.
So instead of spending, what was it, $36 on a new
new pressure switch, and also the pressure switch they're going to sell you as a replacement for this model, the 60 psi one, isn't the same. So what they said is that you use your original housing and the parts that they supply for the inside. So there's not much that can go wrong in a pressure switch. All it is a spring and a switch. And these switches themselves, so basically they're selling you this switch for $36 when you can buy a pack of 2 off of Amazon for $9.99. That's the better quality ones. You can actually buy other ones, which is probably the ones they use in the first place. You get a pack of 24 for $25. So it's like $1 a piece. We went with the slightly more expensive ones and bought 2 packs, so we've got some spares on board. But anyway, that looks like that solved the issue, so Erica's going to be happy. She's going to be able to have a shower today, and maybe she'll do the washing up. Alright. Happy days. Alright guys, so just a little bit of an overcap on changing out this switch. I'm not sure if I filmed this earlier on, so you would have seen how I took these things apart. But all you need to do, I say it's easy, a little bit tight because there is a waterproofing there that doesn't always work. So you just put your 2 little wires on. Doesn't actually matter which way round. All it is a simple on off. It's a simple cut off switch. And then you push that back down in there, and then this one probably a little bit easier. What I'll do is I'll put a little bit of just dishwashing soap or something on there just to slide those down. And then in this part here you've got a spring. This one's different. That one goes on there, and then I've got to remember now, this one's slightly different to the other one. This one goes in here, there's a little arrow that lines up. Also has a little, just a little like O-ring, little rubber. Make sure that's in place. Pop that on the top. Obviously it's sprung loaded, so that's correct. And then you'll pop your 2 little screws back in. So basically you would have to do this anyway, even if you bought the replacement pressure switch original from Jabsco, because they only sell you the inside part, which is an absolute con. Anyway, I'm glad the motor's working on this one, because I haven't got the glue to glue those magnets back in that I've just been showing you. Alright, let's test that one more time. Down.
Works?
That one works. And then that simply just goes back on. Actually, this is a newer model. It actually has a little cover on it. That way. Probably easier to put that in there. That's what it was. And then this one just simply screws back on. Alright, that's it, guys. So, we're going to leave it there. What I've done is I have, well, this one's here. The other two pumps I need to work on with gluing in the magnets, I've just sealed up all the parts in the little plastic bags, so I can come back to this, and it should be simple enough. That second one that we opened up is definitely in a lot better condition on the inside. But the first one we opened up, I think I can probably clean it up enough to get it to work, especially maybe as a spare part, as an emergency. So we'll have two spares that we can plug in if this one goes down again. And trust me, it will. They always do.
Check this out. I got my water back. So it's super exciting. I'm super thankful that Davy was able to fix this. So he was able to fix our $200 water pump with a simple $5 fix. It's a great hack. Jabsco wants $36 for the same part. You can fix it for $5. So thank you so much for watching this week's episode, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and leave us a comment below. Hope this hack works out for you.